I just sat and watched the video on the new electric motor invented by Tesla. Um, uh, don't you think we would have came to that conclusion much sooner if you hadn't been aggressively trying to sell the vehicles for huge amounts of money and profiting off the battery industry until technology told you you had to fix your shit or you were in trouble? Eh, Don't you think that you should live intelligently first before your AI tells you it's going to have to kill you? That would be my, perception. I would think that it'd be better to be a gift of life to yourself and your own children than it would be to have technology that you built that's going to kill you if you don't cut down your carbon signature print and your pollution print and your destructive capacity to your own environment. And that would be the most logical perception I could see. But then again, I'm intelligent, and aggressive people are not intelligent. They'll just do things to out compete the other people to have the. It's like playing Russian roulette with your family's life, and always having the gun with the bullet pointing at the other guy's head, and then feeling powerful because you're doing it. And so when you see these kinds of videos and you hear those people talk, and the competition, you're like, what are you talking about? Okay. Why are you driving? What do you need to drive for? If you need to drive, provide the best vehicle possible for people to have to do it. Okay? If you don't need to drive, go for a hike. Be like a Tibetan, go for a walk. Um, Vehicles should be to, move things that, these people, can't do walking, right? And riding bikes and stuff. Yeah, yeah, well, typically, that's for an aggressive movement for a desired want that isn't always necessary. If there's needs, like say people live in an area where, when you disperse population, it's not always a bad thing. And you have people in different areas doing different things. Usually they go there because of aggressive, violent, sexual behavior. And they either want to do it to do whatever they want to do, or they feel forced to do it because um, they can't do what they need to do. So those are usually your two main um, aspects of migration is either going away to do what these people won't let me fuck my kids. They're telling me it goes against this goddamn religion from Jesus, and I'm going to go somewhere else where I can. Right? And you're like, wow, that's pretty, yeah, but there's people like that. And then the other side of it is, Exodus. Stay here and build big monuments to my bitchy wife and my penis, and I dominate. And then you try to go somewhere where you can just live a peaceful religious life and be a good person. Okay, that's the most rare, but those are the ones that have all the stories in the books about the great magic kingdoms, right? Peace on earth was all it said. And it's very difficult. You don't have to get to that point. You don't have to migrate away. It's where here's where the migration has to happen, right? Right here. Okay. You have to migrate away from archaic thought processes of selfish people. You have to emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. And then you have to understand that once you have faith in the essence that provides the life to the mind, that you free yourself from the limitations of the people that try to manipulate you with the mind because that's where they trap the soul, right? So you have to be superior intellectually to people that are competitive, vicious, and abusive, and genocidal, and suicidal, and homicidal. If I can't fuck her, nobody can fuck her. That's the type of people you're dealing with. They want to be the best. They want to feel superior to you in every shape, form, and way. You know, there are lots of guys with bigger penises than me. I'm okay with that. There are lots of guys that are more physically attractive than me. I'm okay with that. There are lots of guys that sing better than I do. Maybe not quite as much on that, or play ball. No, basketball. No, I was probably one of the best. And I knew that, and I just held back because there are a lot of things I was really good at that people are really jealous of, right? And they will abuse you because they want to be better. And I just walked away because I was like, it's not worth it. Well, I have some precious gift from God, and it's not worth, I'm better than you. I'm the best basketball player of all time. No, worship me. And best football. No one could catch me. I was fast as I could shut down everybody. No, 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 no. Okay. Richard Sherman crying because he can't sell pistachios no more, right? It's stupid. It's ridiculous. Like Al G's rap, when you want to live Proverbs and Psalms, it's spectacular, immaculate. You couldn't think of nothing tighter if you could imagine it, right? It's true. Okay. Once you've eliminated the brain chemical addiction of all the Byzantine empires, the Philistines, the Babylonians, the Egyptians, the Romans. Okay. Then you go to spectacular, immaculate. You couldn't think of anything tighter if you could imagine it, right? You go Psalms, Proverbs, pow. You don't even think about the Lord's Prayer anymore because you're dwelling in the kingdom of heaven. And Clay Walker's figured it out. Don't know how not to go back there again, right? Ate too much Saturday than this woman and this man, right? If you wonder why I want to work, it's because the law advises you keep the car, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, no, I am not egotistical and insane and a madman who thinks, that these anonymous YouTube posts are just, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind, that I'm a voice howling in the wilderness. This is a radically different time than Joshua and John and, and so, and then I've been told that. And, people don't, how your brain activity works is where the world is going to end up getting, oh, okay, thanks, Zook. I woke up this morning feeling cold, didn't put out my music to start my day, turned on the indoctrination box, and then looked what the technology had to offer me to look at. And then, of course, I was, okay, what's this? Okay. And that's very astute. It's very intelligent. You need to look at, what's causing all the heat and causing all the production and causing all the things that set the car on fire, get people killed, things like that. How do we reduce that? And how do we maximize the electric current? So we're using less battery. We have less battery in the cars, less things causing illness and sickness and imbalance in people's physical bodies to drive the car. You're going to want to drive the cars less anyway, because of all that's going on with the batteries and everything. And it's not healthy to sit on top of those batteries, especially for long periods of time. And they already know this. Okay. It's just, what if he shot you in the face? That's a chance we were willing to take. We put a man on the moon. Andy, have you heard about this one? So, once you understand, okay, the problems with what they're doing, they don't care. You're talking about people that are going to replace you with a robot. And then just keep going. And you're like, no, that's being as selfish and stupid as you can possibly be, and keep going. Right, okay, Optimus Prime, Megatron, Starscream, make it stop, right? So it's one of those things that it's not tangible with the gifts given for the life to invent all the stuff that they want to perpetuate their deception of existence through the ego, saying that the brain and the mind is greater than the soul, which is not true. If you make a copy of the brain and it's egotistical and obsessive and destroys everything, give it to it by creation because it's not happy with creation because it wants to be the best and it thinks its brain is the best. And it destroys everything to maintain the whole capacity to invention to try to supplant and eliminate creation was invented by the brain to try to eliminate creation with the brain. It's total abomination, right? A dog could figure it out. And Zeke could. He's that good of a dog. Just put the macaroni and cheese pan down by the sink and slowly walk away. The dishwasher's working. Okay, old Zeke. I was missing him the other day. Like the last 3 months of his life were really hard. He was very old, and most people would have taken him to the vet and had him euthanized. Okay. It was very slow and very painful for him, and I would always just tell him, relax and let go, go to sleep. The kids love you. Just let it go, Zeke. Just let it go. Get to that last breath. I know it's hard, but do it, baby boy. Well, because that's the way it's happened in nature. Okay. For Ace, how long has this been going on? Right. But it wouldn't, well, because once he gets to that point, other animals some other animals would take advantage of the situation and start to kill him if it was worms or this or, how they get the parasites that get on him and kill him, and stuff. And he didn't have that issue and problem because he stayed inside this house. So that 3 months of just pain of the body shutting down would have been eliminated if I just put him out in nature and let nature take its course. But that's so cruel and painful. That's nature. Love nature. Love nature. That's what happens. Okay. When they get that old and the other animals, bye, Zeke, you gonna die. You got bit on the dick by a water moccasin, and I ain't sucking the poison out, right? And so, but that's expected. It's like with Native American tribes when they put the old people out and that they, I'm a burden to my family and stuff. And it was very brutal, vicious times. It was very much like love nature. It's like nature don't love you. So it's just to understand. So with us, it's different. So with us, when dogs get like that, we to be humane and not have the pain and feel the pain of his suffering for 3 months, we go and we give it drugs to just shut the brain down and the body and the chow. Okay. Shut down the vital parts and just, and then terminate the life 3 months in advance so he doesn't have to, be picked up and carried outside and washed off while he uses the bathroom and then told he's loved and dry him off and bring him back in and pick him up and tell him how much the kids love him. He doesn't have to go through all that. He gets to circumvent all that. He gets a drug dealer come in, pow, when you're weary, feeling small. And it was very hard. It was very difficult. That last 3 months, and I remember it vividly, and it was very hard. And I was tired and being abused by perverts that were studying me. And I was not well physically myself. Like I'm still recovering from all my abuse. And it's very difficult. It's very hard, and it's very insane, and it's very inane, and it's gross, what the scientific community is still doing to me because of their immense jealousy of my life story being this focal point of saving human beings from intense, selfish, aggressive, abusive, violent competition and conflict and selfish. So, but it only makes sense that it is. I'm the focal point. The linguistics of the religion, the linguistics of the religion through the governments are different with the Communist Manifesto and China, okay, and what the United States gave Japan because they wouldn't accept their religion in the documentation, and they didn't necessarily have to base it off of Shinto, so they just based it off of human course of events of governments of abuse through money and manipulation through money, and the Japanese were happy to have it, because this made them a peer economically with the United States over China, which it always feared China and was excited to attack and occupy China and abuse China for all the abuse China has inflicted on them for tens of the long ass fucking time, right? Which is very understandable. Same way the Okinawans think about the Japanese, right? And so when you sit and you look at the dynamics of these dysfunctional relationships over time, when you think about all the crap you've learned in high school, it's a wonder you can think at all. So get your Kodachromes out and, give us those night bright colors. Oh, that's all the blood. They're killing the blood. They're taking apart the thing. They're showing you the inside and how it works. And it's, isn't that stuff meant to be on the inside? Isn't it better off in the inside? Why do we have to keep looking at the inside? Maybe if we do things on the outside better on the outside, we won't have to look at the inside so damn much. Thank you. I don't want to dissect the frog or the pig. Ah, right. Anybody in there right mind says, hey, if we do things right on the outside, I don't have to dissect a pig or a frog in school. Right. That means I don't have to be Henry Frankenstein. Yes, that's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's marvelous. Right. So, I didn't like doing the dissecting. I just did it because no one else all the guys were all being macho about it. About the second day, it's like, oh, gross. It's like, we have to do it or we'll flunk. And so I'm like, okay. And so I'm doing it. And I'm not happy with it. I don't like it. I don't want to do it again. But I could do it because it was necessary. And I'm that type of person. If it needs to be done, I will do it. If it doesn't need to be done, you better stop fucking doing it. Okay, because we were post-apocalypse since January 22nd, 2013. And everybody in their right mind that has half a brain cell that functions properly and isn't a fetal pig getting dissected at Mayfield High School should understand by now. All the things that we've been through. You should understand me like I understand you. Now, baby, I know the difference between right and wrong. We don't have a happy home. So I ain't breaking nothing up. I ain't breaking up the band, breaking up the Beatles, nothing like that. A band that's wasting your time, making money, entertaining people that are conditioned and trained by mass murderers to engage in irrational economic activity. So breaking up the Beatles and staying at home with Yoko Ono and Sean, it's a pretty good move. That would be an excellent idea, wouldn't it though? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boy. Before you cross the street, take my hand. These fuckers are crazy. They'll kill you. They'll run right over you and not even think twice about it. And they have a good lawyer, right? A good lawyer. The only good lawyer is a dead lawyer if they think money is real and they don't want to live the Lord's Prayer. And why you can do that? Kill the liar in your brain. Okay. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, for none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Your prophets with the fit on it, FIT, okay? They're not valuable here because the fuck for the buck and the murder for the flagpole rag and the war song, it ends here. Okay. We can still play football without saluting mass murder over money and singing songs about it. We can play baseball. Can you imagine Jesus standing up, putting his hand over his heart, singing over a flagpole rag and a war song that that tested the bomb on the Tularosans and then dropped it on the Japanese and Okinawans to dig measure with Joseph Stalin? Can you see Jesus doing that? Can you see Muhammad doing that? Abraham? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, go in the fiery furnace. Okay, blow us up with the nuclear weapon, but we ain't going to drop the bomb on the Tularosans, the Okinawans, and the Japanese. That's an abomination. Mass murder? We have the best war machine for idolatry in the whole world. We are Jesus and Muhammad, and we want to run for Congress, and we support this message. We're the Supreme Court. Put up a cell phone tower so we can keep making the money. Shake your money maker. Seriously. Okay. Do I have to explain everything to you wackadoodle maniacs? Okay. Son of a bitch. Okay. God dang, Mom was right. Give you a very special gift, Earl, and you're going to be very lonely. I get it, Mom. I get it. Well, she died when I was 27 years old. I turned 28 that summer, right? I'm going to be 60 this summer. Okay. Past, present, future operate at the same time. This is your mother, the one that gave birth to you, that's connected through the placenta and the umbilical cord and all that stuff and everything like that. Can you imagine, okay, giving birth to the best young man, the best man in the history of the United States ever, even better than, Abraham Lincoln, because Earl, cuts through crap and calls people on their crap better than Abraham Lincoln did, especially about slavery and all that. He had to be convinced by Frederick Douglass and others in freeing the slavery and ensure freedom of the free. Earl knew that from the time he was, it's wrong to kill innocent children for the guilty person to get away with the crime and then go to a magic place in their head where they live with their God eternally for accepting him as God, but never living his truth. That's crazy. Ezra Taft Benson and Spencer J. Kimball are psychopaths, right? And I'm not even 4 years old yet. And my mom's going, I think the kid might be a genius. I think so too. But I didn't wind the stuff together. I'm sure we would have came up with that. If Elon Musk would have recognized my existence anywhere between January 22nd, 2013 and now, and I'm sure we would have came up with it a hellified a lot sooner than they did during this dissertation of criminal and crime scene investigation. And thanks for watching 2020. That was a horrible story, wasn't it? We're not living the Lord's Prayer. Any of you feeling suicidal? We have fentanyl coming to your house. Right? You're like, damn, could I get do they have an Uber driver deliver it? Do they have, is it part of Grubhub? Not yet. Well, technically, yes. But don't ask, don't tell. You're like, Earl, you're horrible. Man, I live in the United States of America, guys, where people put up flagpole rags, sing war songs that celebrate mass murder over money and claim Jesus is watching from the clouds, smiling on them and waiting for the right moment for him to take over the world through these war songs and hey, drop nuclear weapons. And I've for years sat there and told people, you guys do know when you put out flyers for Congress about, this country was built off of legal immigration, there are Cheyenne families I walked to school with in Wyoming that have to read that shit. Okay? When you put up a flagpole rag and sing that war song, there are families in Japan that have to watch that shit if they host the Olympics, that have to stand up and show respect or they might drop another bomb on them, right? That's horrible. I know. Could you imagine Jesus and Muhammad and Abraham all getting up and participating in this and saying, it's okay, we'll just give it time. They need time to mature. No, children don't have time for you to mature. You have to look at life eternally. Okay? If you don't fix what you're doing today, your children are going to inherit that sin, and many of them are going to die more painfully than Zeke did. Okay? From birth defects and heart disease and cancer. And all the corporations are going to ask for money to feel important. Using your kids as lab rats on how to survive hell through economic conflict and act like it never needs to go away because it's a gift from the glory of God, right? It's horrid. Okay. Hi, I'm Mary Ann Murphy's little boy. She gave me a special gift, but I'm going to be very lonely. From 27 to 59. Lonely as hell. No, I'm not. I tried to explain it to her. Mom, I'm the Ark of the Covenant, man. I talked to, Malcolm X, D.T. Suzuki, I talked to Little Hawk, I never told her that I had those talks really with Little Hawk. No, I never really said anything. I just had them. I didn't, get all Eckankar, maybe I'm going to be the Egg Master. Little Hawk had talked to me about growing up here and stuff, and I had them everywhere we went and all the time. And I didn't tell her about the conversations I had with Rumi and with, Reb Zartaris all the time and all those people in Eckankar and stuff with, the people that Twitchell Kiped, the real people that were real, based off of real, real people, Rumi especially. He was very calm and sweet and kind, and the Buddha. And I never told her, Well, my mom always said that your spiritual life is even more personal than your sex life. And she goes, would, you want Jesus to sit in your bedroom and tell you how to have sex with your wife? Or would you want to be able to have a holy covenant and understand it for yourselves? And God's omniscient and omnipotent. So, holy covenant and understand it for yourself. Jesus doesn't want to come in and say, no, you're doing it wrong. Like the freaking imams and clerics and those occupied tribal turd bag museums they call, this is a Muslim country. Fuck you. You're an asshole. So that's why it's so easily manipulated by Donald Trump by dropping bombs on their top sociopath of ancient tribal traditions that are aggressive, abusive, and psychotic. Muhammad was nothing like that asshole. Muhammad was the protector of women and children through holy covenants, through faithful love. He was the Rose of Mecca. He wasn't a mass murderer trying to build nuclear weapons to blow up other mass murderers, to have home invasion in people's houses to make sure they're having sex in accordance to how the hypocrites say it should be done, but don't do it in the tents where they go watch Floofy tell jokes, right? And Jeff Dunham, don't forget Peanut, right? It's fucking crazy. It's gross. It's nothing so-so because I know, right? Okay, Earl's, it's Sunday and Earl's got work to do, and there's no rest for the wicked, so you're going to be wicked today. I'm going to kick your ass. You ain't going to get no rest. You ain't going to feel no tidings of comfort and joy and rest of the book of Revelation. Oh, hell no. I'm going to kick the shit out of you till you stand up for the Lord's Prayer. Then you can rest. Lord's Prayer first, then rest. Right? I praise for everything and everything in its place. Right on. Okay, guys, love you very much.